Preparing to live stream. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Two Trees podcast. Oh, I think that is not going to work for me. Let me see what I can do. Okay. Are you guys there? I hope that you are. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Two Trees podcast. Is that me or you guys? I think that is not going to work for me.
Who doesn't hear it?
Okay, hang on. Are you guys there? I hope that you are. Everybody, and welcome to Is that me or you guys? I can fix it. I think. Do you hear it now?
No.
I don't hear it now either. I think that we're live on YouTube. So anyway, my name is John Dillon. Welcome to the Two Trees and Friends. We kind of look like the Brady Bunch, but much less cool, maybe, than the Brady Bunch. But I have assembled the best for you, my friends, because the Beyond the Gates of Eden conference is at hand. I'd like to introduce to you my friend Martin Listener, the official intro man of the Two Trees podcast.
For season 3.
For season 3 and forever, because it's hard work and I always mess it up. So Martin does that.
Countless moments go into every one of those. So
also, if any of you guys are going to the Image conference in Indiana this weekend, Martin will challenge you to a sword drill, and he is quite confident that he can beat everyone in the world. So just
my fingers are a little rusty, so
we'll see. But I wanted to introduce to you guys the speakers. We're missing one, but other than that, we're all here. And just kind of talk to you a little bit about what the conference is and how it's going to work. First of all, I've been to lots of Bible conferences as a pastor and as a Bible college student. And I sometimes loved them, sometimes I did not. But one of the things that I always found frustrating was you would have your lesson, your lecture, and in the best case scenario, it would be really good and it would be filled with things that I wanted to think about, and I would take my notes and then I would hustle off to the next lecture. There really wasn't time to process what I had been thinking about in a group or even privately. And so what we decided to do with this Two Trees conference was to slow down the process and to widen the process. The goal here is conversations, not really converts. And so what we're trying to do, and all of us come from different backgrounds. We have different ideas about lots of things. We're all big fans of Dr. Michael Heiser and the Awakening School of Theology, and we have created content that kind of explores that idea of the divine counsel worldview of the Garden of Eden and how it flows into the rest of Scripture. And so what we're going to be giving to you every month on the first Monday of every month is a brand new lecture. The 5th of May, if you will go to the twotreespodcast.org, you're going to see in the banner at the top a little button that says conference. Click that button and you're going to see the video. You're also going to see links for study notes, for personal study, so that you can sit down with your favorite pen and your cup of whatever it is you're drinking and just think about it. Do I agree with that or do I not? Does this, what did that make me think about over here? And you can go through that process on your own. Again, we're not trying to fight anyone. We're just trying to talk about things that are interesting to us. There's going to be another document, which is called the discussion guide. And each of these presenters has custom created for you your very own discussion guide and personal study document. They're going to be linked on the Two Trees website. So all you have to do is go to the twotreespodcast.org, hover over the word conference, and it will open the page and you can choose any of the documents that you see there for you. With that in mind, I would like to introduce you to the ideas that are going to be presented. In May, you're going to be hearing from Caleb Lewis. The C.S. Lewis has come back to the other side of the world. No, that's, are you named after that C.S. Lewis?
I don't think so.
It's just
No, just coincidence.
providence at work. I like
Yeah.
it. Caleb, you're going to be our voice for the month of May. What are people in for? What should they be expecting?
Lots of trees. We're going to be talking about trees, how
Aha!
the theme of trees runs through the prophets, and then how Jesus, John the Baptist, and the gospel authors pick up these themes to give important messages to the people they are speaking to in Israel and Jerusalem, and ways that our typical traditions are in line with that, and ways that we also don't understand the full nuance. So that's really where we're headed. Trees and the prophets to trees and the gospels.
Well, I, for one, love that. And I know that you leaned heavily on Rusty's book.
Very,
It's
yes.
really beautifully done, and I think a tribute to the way that Rusty teaches. And so I know that you guys are in for a blessing because who doesn't love tree iconography in Scripture? It's just fantastic. And running with that beyond the garden motif, you're going to take it into the prophets, and you're going to discuss how Jeremiah and Isaiah looked at these things. Josh Sherman, you also, is it Josh or Joshua? I forgot which you prefer in
Joshua, but
public.
yeah, whatever.
Okay,
Yeah.
Joshua, sorry.
I know.
What can we be expecting from you?
Yeah, so I'm going to be presenting on Christ, the tree of life in Romans 8 through 11. So looking at Paul's use of tree metaphors in Romans 11, and then kind of tracking through those four chapters and looking at where we see Christ in those four chapters. And it's pretty obvious in 8 and 10 and 11, and at the very beginning and end of Romans 9. But right in the middle, people kind of lose sight, because what I think Paul is doing is not as explicitly drawing the eye to Christ. But if you start looking at the Old Testament passages that he brings in to answer the objections that he's working with in 9, you start to see, like, wait a minute, there might actually be some stuff going on here where he's actually pointing us to Christ. He's pointing us to the giver of the promises to Abraham and the one who fulfills the promises to Abraham as Lord, Messiah, and God. So we'll be taking people through that and seeing perhaps how maybe that interfaces with some of the different discussions people have around some of those chapters.
And I think that's a good place to kind of talk about this, but we wanted to do more than just a lecture. It's always fun to hear a lecture and then to go and argue and say, oh, well, he missed this or whatever. But what we're hoping is going to happen is that we're able to move beyond just participation from listening and move it into an active participation on your end. And so what will happen with your help is that small groups are going to gather together and talk through the content that's presented with the guide or with your own guide if you want to make one. But then we're going to reassemble a group of people, faces that you're going to be familiar with, and they're going to talk about it themselves. So if you're not able to join a small group, you can hang out with us. And then we're going to have that lecturer back on at the end of the month, the last Monday of the month. And we're just going to do a question and answer. You can ask them anything you want. I will ask them. I don't promise they will love your question, but I think they will be excited to get anything that comes their direction. And so what we're hoping to do is to have this happen in multiple parts. You're going to see on the Two Trees Facebook page advertisements talking about when those lives are happening. It's going to be kind of annoying. I hope it's not really annoying, but you are going to get them. And so just give it a click, give it a like. You can click the bell, you can subscribe, let people know, and to join you, because we want you to really leave this not having heard a lecture, but understanding something. And that doesn't happen fast.
And you're looking for people to submit questions. Is this email in the comments on
they can
Facebook
submit
or YouTube
them,
or?
Yep, any way that you want. Our website has a link that you can ask any question, or you can send me a link, or you can wait until we actually are doing the Q&A, and you can type them in the comments section there.
Excellent.
I don't do smoke signals, and I don't do Morse code, and I don't do Braille, and I really just Appalachian, and that's the extent of my language skills as far as that kind of a thing goes. But Martin, you've been helping me with this, and we've been talking quite a bit about getting ready for the conference and things. What's on your mind and your heart as we transition into the start?
Well, John, every time I get on one of these phone calls, I always feel like a donkey at the Kentucky Derby. It's what I said the last time too, trying to run with some of these thoroughbreds here. But I think it's just fantastic that you actually get to engage with other people that are in your small group and your community, but then directly with the people that are creating this information. I'm on the inside track being on these kinds of stuff here, and I'm in a situation that I don't deserve to be in, and being around all you smart guys. So being able to interact with our entire audience in this same way is going to be such a blessing to the listener that you'd be silly to miss out on such an opportunity. So that's why I've been pushing it and telling everybody this, because just being around this kind of stuff, you're going to glean so much from it. So it's definitely something you want to look out for.
I think it's super important for the Divine Council community to gather, whether that's digitally or that's in person. So many of us feel like we don't have a group of people that we can talk with about these kinds of ideas. This information is made to help you overcome those obstacles. Grab a buddy, go get tea, go get coffee, go out to lunch, talk about these things, and you can do it in your own time. It's not a rush. You don't have to buy plane tickets and fly to Ohio. You just go to the comfort of your room, click the button, listen, and think about it. But the goal here is more than just giving information to you. The goal here is trying to facilitate friendship, discipleship, communication, and this is only achievable if you join us in doing this. And so you've heard from Caleb and from Joshua. Carrie, you're going to be moving us deeply into the New Testament, beyond Romans, and talking about, well, I know, but they don't know. Why don't you tell them?
Yes, so I'm going to be tracking basically the theme of eating, but also expanding that beyond just eating, but actually looking at why that's a concept and how that actually impacts our walk with God and with each other. So I have some really interesting, I think it's interesting ways of presenting that I don't really want to get into right here and right now, but basically the theme of eating and fellowship. So when my month comes along, that will be a good time for you to get together and have a meal or have
Yeah.
some snacks or whatever. Yeah.
If you're not doing that, you're not doing it right. Yeah.
It needs to
Right.
be fun. This is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a
Yeah.
go and do it thing. And I really am excited. You're not just going to get great content and things that you can use in your own studies, maybe in your teaching ministries, or when the opportunity comes up to have a conversation with someone, you'll say, "Hey, I was just thinking about this, and I heard this lecture, and I want to tell you what I've been thinking about." And so, moving it from just notes on the page to something that you've grasped and that is important to you is precious. Mike Chu, you are going to be not the closer, but pretty close to the closer. We're going to be actually moving our speaker, Josh Robinson, is going to be at the very end, and he's going to be talking about desacred space. So those of you guys who are into the Divine Council stuff, his is going to be heavy into that. But Mike's is already a fan favorite from the people that I have talked to. Tell them what book of the Bible you're going to be in.
I will be essentially going from Genesis all the way through Revelation. So essentially the whole entire Bible, but a little bit outside of it. It's essentially it's a survey of I had titled my talk as The Return to the Tree of Life. And it's been a fascination of mine about how the Tree of Life throughout the scripture, throughout the Old Testament narrative and into the New, essentially, if you're just looking at the Bible, the Tree of Life only appears technically in Genesis and then in Revelation. And then there's this little spurt moment where it appears in Proverbs. And it's strange of why is it that this tree appears and almost seems to be not important. And yet at the very last chapter of Revelation, it is highlighted to such an extent, the imagery just leaves a deep impression in you. And so that's part of what my lecture has been, is to explore really the imagery history of the Tree of Life from its ancient Near Eastern roots to how it's utilized by the time we reach the writing of Revelation. And why is that important? And what does that really mean for the destiny of humanity overall in the end? Like, why is this tree connected back to the destiny of what humanity is meant to become.
Would it be okay to say that your is about 2 trees? Maybe one in Genesis and then on to Revelation, maybe?
Maybe, or
Maybe.
or many trees.
Yeah,
There's
lots of them. I actually have got to listen to everyone's presentations for the most part already, and I like them. You're going to be blessed by these, and the handouts need to go in a folder somewhere for you because they are gold. And it is our privilege. All of these folks are volunteering their time, and they have been working for a long time to present this to you. And I hope you take it as the gift that it is. Mike, I know that your work with the Awakening School of Theology really is such a tremendous blessing to all of our churches. And so I thank you for what you do there, but also for your giving the time to pull this together and give your time here. Carrie, you've been instrumental in helping me put this together. And always, always Genesis marks the spot. Not Answers in Genesis, but Genesis marks the spot is Carrie's, is a blessing, and I enjoy it so much. Caleb, your books has been so fun to read, and I've just enjoyed getting to have a Kentucky man on the podcast back and forth, and so you're going to want to hear him. And Josh Sherman, you may not see him as much, but he is active behind the scenes and holding so many conversations and ministry opportunities together. I think there is a public outcry for attending Arnett's to come back into a weekly dispersion. But my friends, I cannot thank you enough for the gift that you're giving to my church and to the Two Trees family. I'm looking forward to this podcast, to this conference a whole lot. And just before we sign off, does anybody have anything that they would like to add before I walk through how to do it one more time? Step one.
Well, I mean, I
Go
just
ahead.
want to encourage people to, and especially if you're in any kind of a leadership role, like if you are a small group leader or a pastor, part of, I think, our goal is to help equip people. And if that's you and if that's your job, then we want to partner with you. And that's kind of our goal. So anybody also who has feedback on what we're doing, we'd really appreciate hearing that, because part of my hope is that this will help kick off more things and that more things will be coming. But that can't happen if people aren't going to be involved and if nobody cares about what we're doing, because then there's no point to doing it. So if you're interested, if you're liking what this is, and if you want to help, please do reach out and give us feedback, because that would be really helpful.
Absolutely. I know there are several churches that have contacted me and are using this material for some of their small groups. And so, but again, this doesn't work without you guys. Unless you are getting your group together and gathering and talking together, there's not much point to our assembling this way. But I believe that there are going to be groups that gather. I think you are going to give this a go. And I am totally into trying whatever to get the gospel out there and to help people become better equipped to talk about their favorite topic, the Bible. So what you need to do, step one, May 5th, go to the2treespodcast.org and click on the conference icon. Once you're there, you're there. You're going to see the video. You're going to see the links. Watch the video. Print off the links or just look at them on your phone. But we're giving you the tools. The rest is up to you. The end of the month, you're going to see an advert on the Two Trees Facebook page that says there's a live coming up. You're welcome to join us. You can chat with us. You can talk with us. And then we're going to have a Q&A with the author of the podcast or the lecture, and they'll answer your questions. If you'd like to submit questions, you can do that also on the twotreespodcast.org. Just submit a question and it will come straight to my email, where I will send it to Martin, because he does not lose things. I do. My friends, I hope that you are having a wonderful day and that you have not forgotten that Jesus is the God of gods, the Lord of lords, mighty and awesome.